Most of the time, when I plant tomatoes, I get a pretty good yield. But sometimes I'll have a tomato plant that only gives me 1 or 2 tomatoes. Welcome back, casual gardeners. Welcome back, casual gardeners. This is part 8 of the Frequently Asked Questions series. Today we're answering the question, why aren't my plants producing flowers or fruit? By the end of this video, you should know the most common reasons why plants don't produce, how light, water, and stress all play a role in fruit production, why healthy-looking plants can still be unproductive, and how to turn leaves into harvests. No flowers, no fruits. It seems simple, but a lot of the more complicated topics that we're going to be addressing in this video hinge on that simple fact. Fruit is produced by fertilized, mature flowers. If your plant isn't flowering, or if the flowers are dropping off unpollinated, you will get no fruit. If your plant is refusing to flower, it may be because of stress, imbalance, or incorrect conditions. If your plant is gorgeous but isn't setting any fruit, too much nitrogen could be the issue. Nitrogen encourages leaf growth, stem growth, and lush green plants, but it can sometimes discourage flowering and fruiting. Common sources for excess nitrogen can be fertilizer runoff, say from your lawn, using fresh manure instead of aged manure, or using too much high nitrogen fertilizer. If you see dark green leaves, rapid leafy growth, and few or no flowers, that could be an indication that you are applying too much nitrogen. To fix the problem, stop fertilizing or switch to a more balanced or low nitrogen fertilizer. Be patient. Your plant growth won't change overnight. It could take a while for your nitrogen balance to be restored. Most flowering plants need full sun. That means 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight every day. Full sun plants in shade or part shade may survive, but they will not produce as well. Is your garden too close to buildings or trees? Is there encroaching seasonal shade from nearby trees? You can fix this by moving your garden, pruning nearby foliage, or changing the crops you're choosing to grow in your garden to require less light. It may not be the best garden, for example, for full-size tomatoes, but maybe you can still manage cherry tomatoes. Inconsistent watering is something I often talk about because it causes all sorts of problems. Plants dealing with water stress may drop flowers or abort fruit in progress. Too much water can cause root rot, which results in lowered nutrient uptake, which can cause reduced flowering or fruit. Too little water, on the other hand, can reduce nutrient uptake because there are fewer solubilized nutrients to take up, and you're going to have the same problem: less flowering, less fruit. Fix this problem by watering deeply and infrequently, and by using mulch to control soil evaporation and keep your moisture levels more consistent. I've learned that getting a timing system for my irrigation system has made gardening seem almost effortless, where it used to be a challenge. If you're struggling with consistent watering, that may be the way to go. It's going to be well worth your money. It'll pay for itself in produce. Temperature can affect different plants in different ways. Many won't flower if the nights are too cool or the days are too hot. Tomatoes can drop flowers or develop sticky pollen if the temperature is consistently above 85 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which is in the neighborhood of 30 to 32 degrees Celsius, approximately. Pepper production can stall in cold weather. Beans may stop setting pods in extreme heat. To fix that, make sure you're growing the right plants in the right seasons. Consider using shade cloth to keep plants cool in the summer. And make sure you're protecting plants during cold snaps. Before your flower can become a fruit, it needs to be pollinated. we're talking about botanical fruits, not grocery fruits. So a lot of our vegetables are also fruits in this way. So here are some common reasons that might happen. Not enough pollinators, too much rain or wind during bloom, or maybe your plants aren't self-fertile and there's not an appropriate pollen donor nearby. I'm currently struggling with this issue because I have an avocado tree. In fact, my avocado tree should be flowering with, open flowers by the end of January or into February. That's a problem because my avocado tree lives indoors and my partner has made it very clear that I am not allowed to keep bees in the house. Avocado trees are potentially self-fertile, but their flowers are only one sex at a time to help prevent self-pollination because it's better if it's somebody else. And I don't have room in my house for a complementary avocado. That means that if I am going to get avocados ever, I need to identify that magic moment when both sexes of flowers are on the tree as it switches from one sex to the other and hand pollinate during that very specific time. We'll see if it works. If not, I might be giving away an avocado tree. If flowers form but fall off without producing fruit, or if the fruit you get is small or withered and misshapen, you might be having pollination issues. Try creating pollinator habitat. Obviously, not in your house if you have a partner. Placing flowers around your garden will make it both prettier and more productive. Also, try to avoid using pesticides while your crops are in production. If you must use a pesticide, a nighttime application is going to be a lot less harmful to pollinators than a daytime application because most pollinators are out during the day. You can hand pollinate most crops if necessary. It is what I'm attempting with my avocado tree and what I sometimes do with my lemon tree. Sometimes all you need to do is wait. Most trees won't flower until their second or third year, or sometimes later if you're growing from seed. I have 2 grapevines in my garden, but I only got 1 bunch of grapes last year. And that's just because I need to wait for them to mature a little bit more before I start getting regular grape harvests. Younger plants are going to concentrate on developing root systems and foliage because that's where they're going to get all of the energy to fruit later. Even annual crops may put off fruiting until later in the season. You may also see differential production from different varieties of the same crop. For the past few years, I've been growing raspberry Liana tomatoes and I've been growing Hungarian heart tomatoes. The raspberry Liana tomatoes are early, consistent, really abundant producers. The Hungarian heart produces much later in the season and sometimes only gives me like 3 to 6 tomatoes for the whole year. The only reason I keep my Hungarian hearts around is because the flavor and the texture and the size are incredible. I'll actually be trying a new oxheart tomato this year to see if I can get that same amazing flavor and texture, but maybe some improved production, because it's a long time to wait for that little bit of thrill. Plants that are stressed or damaged may not have the energy to produce as much fruit or may not yield at all. Common stressors can include root damage, over pruning, under fertilizing or over fertilizing, heat stress or watering issues, or pest problems. If you're dealing with stressors, you might see a reduction in yield for the season. If you can remove these stressors quickly enough, you may see a rebound in time for a good harvest. Plants that aren't flowering or fruiting are communicating a problem. Some potential problems can be addressed. Too much sunlight, too much fertilizer, too little fertilizer, inconsistent watering, or pest pressure. Other issues may be harder to control. Unseasonable weather, diseases, absence of pollinators, although you can do that by hand, or maybe a lack of pollen donors. If we can find the reason for our reduced or non-existent yields, we can usually do something to recover from the problem. Or maybe it's time to try an alternative crop or an alternative cultivar. If you found this video useful or entertaining, make sure to like it and make sure you are subscribed to my channel for future gardening fact videos and also other things. I do chickens, I do seed sowing. There's probably something for you if you're interested in gardening. If there are gardening questions you would like to see addressed in the Frequently Asked Questions series, make sure you drop your question down in the comments. You're doing you a favor by, making it possible to get your answer, but you're also helping me by making it so I don't have to think about new content. Thank you so much for joining me in my garden today, and I hope you have a wonderful time in your own. Thank you.